Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, good afternoon. I'm Eric Lassen, and with me is Tom Moore. We're the architects for the renovation of the Oddfellows Hall, the back part of the Oddfellows Hall, and so we're here for final review. And it really hasn't changed much since last time. It is the same project, and we've done a few things to do what we were asked to do. But other than that, you'll find that it's almost identical. So, would you like me to point out some things, because this is an interior project mostly, and there's the east wall of the building is facing the Granada garage is really the part that I think you're mostly interested in, and we can flip to that actually if you want, or I'd be happy to answer any questions about it.
All right. You are here for final review.
That's right.
Okay.
This is if you're standing out there in the park across the street there by the Granada garage, this is what you'd see most of this. I think you're probably familiar with it. This is a very old building that's at one point someone decided to plaster over, so it's become Spanish colonial revival.
By just standing there.
Whether we want it or not, you know. But anyway, that's what it is, and we didn't really ever think we wanted to change that because it'd be almost impossible. So at one time, some work was done in terms of, so most of this is original. The part that's being renovated is really the backside, and it's really an interior work that includes an outdoor patio for the members of the hall. And this is there's two commercial building or spaces on the first floor, and the entire top floor is used by the Oddfellows. There's a meeting hall in the front, and then there's other facilities in the back. So this is what we're talking about doing, is mostly this, but we've stuck with the same concept that we've had here from the beginning, is essentially including some windows that are actually identical to the ones that exist already, replacing the awnings over all the windows, so we have that to bring in some color. It's otherwise a white building, and we've improved the exterior lighting, so it's been kind of cleaned up and made to look a little better. And this back part here has an addition of a small balcony portion that didn't exist there before, so that it has an exterior exit here, and then there's an elevator in the very back there, and the access to the elevator is actually back into here. So it's a relatively minor work. The main work is really what's going on the inside. Tom and I would be happy to answer any questions about that. The plan that we had here before actually looks very, very much like this, so we didn't really change much.
What is the height of that railing? I can get a scale.
It looks low, doesn't it?
It looks like 3 feet.
Right, and as opposed to 3.6.
Because that's about what your height of your handrail
Yeah.
is.
Uh-huh.
Here.
It might be
And that's got to be 42 inches, which
right.
obviously doesn't matter, but better find out about it now than later.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, if it is 42, are you saying that he should raise the entire here or have it jog?
I think
Done.
we would hope that we would raise the whole thing. I think
Yeah.
maybe a little bit low.
Well, it's 3.8. So, okay. I take all that back.
It does. I agree with it. It looks that way a little bit. If it is less than that, we'll certainly make. It's got to be 42. So,
Yeah.
and we would make it over.
Continuous,
It's
great.
fine.
No.
All right.
Wanted to see some of the floor plans or so forth?
Well, I'd just like to see some of the details since you're here for final.
Okay, we did move that.
Oh,
That will show up here
in the section?
in the section.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's,
Tucked it in behind the elevator shaft.
But
but it,
you still see it
yeah.
from somewhere around the
Well,
garage.
yeah, you would only see it from the upper levels of the garage.
Right.
And we've already set it down. We lowered the roof in this area to
Is this
to pull
all?
it
This
down.
is here now, or that's?
No, this is all new. This is
So
only.
you could
You
lower
could
that
drop
attic.
it.
Well, you could lower it more. I'm trying to lower it as little as possible
I know you
because it's
wanna
starting to create a pit there, you know, in the roof. But yeah, you could lower it more, you know, like pulling it
think
against
that's
this
sort of
side and
important.
the sight
Yeah.
line.
Yeah, you've just got attic up there, so you could just lower it.
Right. If you're not using it for storage, and apparently you're not.
That would be this half here then, huh, Tom?
Right, just
Correct.
that part.
Yeah, this is what this place looks like from the air. The roof plan is it's a small patio with a tile roof and a parapet facing the garage. The elevator comes top part of the elevator is this area, and then this is where the condenser would be. I think it could be lower though, don't you think? Or-
No, it could be, yeah, yeah, yeah. It just
Yes.
makes it a little more of a climb.
We'd like to see that.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Sections, we don't care about interior, but we do care about exterior.
I have a question. What's the paving up there on the patio? What's the material?
It's probably it's a cement or a ceramic kind of tile.
Or stone.
Yeah. I mean, I think pretty much everything is the intent to sort of match the existing. We're not renovating the whole building, so the idea was that the windows should be the same.
None of this is really seen, none of this sheet is seen. Just door and windows, and
That's right.
we're not changing anything from the public view with respect to the...
Yeah, this is a perfect match to the existing windows, which I'm giving them. So when they add the new window, they do that. Yeah, an exact replica in that case. This,
Well, I guess this one would be,
yeah, these are the other smaller new windows. So they,
we are adding windows, as you can probably see there, but we're not doing anything that's different. And this is mostly interior.
And the other big item would be what kitchen ventilation equipment would be seen. I think they'll look at
Condition.
this as being a commercial kitchen, even if it's residential in scale,
Yeah.
which case any exhaust equipment is going to be pretty large.
Well, we don't plan to actually have any of that exposed.
That's my question.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it under EHS or is it not considered, is it a commercial kitchen or not?
We don't consider it a commercial kitchen. Really, it's not a food preparation kitchen. Really, it's just a kind of a. They might have events in there or something like that. The catering would come in and so forth.
Well, I think the definition for EHS is whether or not you sell food to the general public.
Yeah, we don't, or they don't.
And so if
This is
it's
just
all
a-
internal and used for nonprofit, so on and so forth, then it is not under EHS.
Right.
But you might want to be 100% sure and
Right.
check.
It makes a big difference in the equipment
Right.
and so forth.
just like the exhaust fans, type of thing.
And your refrigerator, and it just goes on and on.
Are there any other questions or comments? Mr.
I
Peugeot?
have a question comment on the previous page, 8.1, you know, the
The detail.
that one, yeah. 8.1, right? Yeah, the one with the roof details?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you're matching, question comment, are you matching those details? I mean, there are some that don't really meet our standards. I'm not sure if you match the existing details. And two things. One is that you use the words copper and galvanized steel interchangeable. And if you put them like that in a drawing, they will go GI for sure, right? And are you going to use? I mean,
copper on the tile roof areas and the patio areas.
Yeah.
And
okay, like this one would be like an exposed. I'm not sure how visible it is, but usually we don't have exposed flashings. I mean, copper is a nice flashing, but it still will be exposed, and it's not. It's not the preferred thing.
So you would prefer that just wrapped in stucco?
Yeah, and with a membrane underneath. Usually with the bituthane. And this one here, it's what happens. It shows the copper or whatever you use on top. In general, we go like that, and we put the cement. Some mortar right there, right? Like that's the more traditional. And it also happens on this one here too. And I'm not sure how visible and how it matches the existing. That's why I'm not very clear.
There's no other. Interesting enough, this building doesn't have any, except for on the very front side facing from where there's a little bit of tile.
I see.
It's not really a building that has that. So we're just.
Yes. Okay.
So typically, you're saying this should be avoided because it needs exposed metal.
Yes.
Especially right there. Yeah.
Correct.
And here too. I'm not sure how visible it is, but it could show a lot. In general, if you look at our standard details, we try not to show metal.
Are there any other comments or questions? Yes?
Even if you're matching tiles there, you want to make sure your paving tiles on that open patio are slip-proof, just for liability and every other reason, safety.
They don't actually have any of that. I mean, is no. We're not matching anything in that area, but you're right about that. Of course, that's
Something with grit.
Yeah, right.
Nice concrete products and things.
So, should we continue this to consent calendar for
Yes.
minor details?
Yes.
So that will be is it 2 week continuous to the consent calendar to finalize for the final details as mentioned the roof details to avoid the exposed metal flashing as much as practically possible. And what else is there?
Paving sample.
Paving sample. Okay.
And the other was to lower the attic roof framing to allow the condenser to be less visible.
Okay, so there are 3 comments, and we see will be.
So my question is, we're all anxious to get this in the
Sure.
building.
So-
Is there a way to get a jump on that and come back to these details?
Can we do that?
Couldn't hear what Mr. Moore was saying.
See, well, if we can get a final approval, so we can get into the building department, and we'll get these very minor details in 2 weeks in consent.
Okay, so are you giving it final approval today?
That's the problem.
That's
a problem.
With very minor items to come before the consent calendar in 2 weeks.
So final approval with a condition.
Allow them to get into furniture.
Okay. And it was seconded by Boucher.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? That motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You want to take this one? Or is it?
You can take both these.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and roll it together.
Okay.
This is details.
It's details?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the,
Do they look at those like that's that done? We'll let you open that out.
This is another part of the environment.
See the contact.
They sure do.
5 State Street, and they were here for concept review. Or Whiskey Richards.
All right, my name is Henry Lenny, and this is Whiskey Richards, and you can see some photographs. It's right across the street from Pep Boys. Whiskey Richards.
So here is
It's,
here because you've never, I'm sure, been to a place called Whiskey Richards. There it is.
can't even say it.
I was there once.
I didn't know it existed either.
Well, it's kind of they specialize in serving whiskeys with rather colorful patrons, and so. But what they want to do is to move the entire thing back 10 feet, and one of the problems that they're having is smoking, and everybody goes into the streets, and it creates a problem. I'm trying to. But in any event, it's not really intended to use for sitting because it's. Let me show you the existing.
You mean when they're out there, they can't take their drink with them?
Yeah, you can take your drink with them, but they
On the
can't.
sidewalk?
Really?
Oh no! To smoke, they all smoke on the sidewalk.
So they can't, they don't drink at the same time, so they're
No.
losing.
Yes. Yeah, they can smoke in the patio. It's an outdoor space, but not in the sidewalk.
I agree.
Not within 20 feet of the
Maybe I don't know anything, but
you know, at night sometimes people are.
People are what?
no, they don't serve food at all.
Just whiskey.
Yeah. So currently, this is their plan. We actually are into the building department for making the bathrooms, as you can see, larger, more bathrooms, and that's not exterior at all. And then refurbishing the bar area. Currently, this layout of sitting is what they're allowed to as far as occupancy is concerned. Any additional seating would create a problem for them. But it's actually both for looks. They wanted to increase. Anyway, they wanted to compete a little better with some of the other things that are there. And I think it's a good, yes.
This is the wall that moves back to.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And so this storefront goes, and everything gets pushed back, and there's an iron rail here to kind of keep them under control. Well, you know what I mean. And so that's the concept. And so basically, the building stays pretty much the way it is. I would like to introduce something because it's too blocky. It's an arch, and the arch, the thickness is thick. It's the width of this structural element, which is 24 inches approximately, slightly under. So the idea is to provide the rail, a sign here, which they currently have a projecting sign, but this will all be iron rail with torch cut letters. Yes, that's sign committee, and then the storefront here. Now, as far as the storefront that is in the back, I did get a call from the client, and he says, we don't want to lose the traditional look of an Irish bar. And so I asked the Landmarks Commission if we can have an alternate to this, and which the answer is clear. I think of doing true divided lights on the storefront rather than the plate glass, even though set back significantly. I mean, I'm in favor of it, but it's up to you.
There's one major flaw there. The bottom panel on the door should be equal to the knee wall below the windows. And when you look at traditional storefront design,
That's
they're
true,
like
isn't it?
line. So if you were to bring the wooden bottom plate of the doors up a little bit, I think it would achieve more of what you're trying to get, which is the traditional.
Yeah, you're right, actually, Jake. You're right. In this case, and then you can have a panel on the doors, which I agree. It is more traditional. Apparently, the people that go there, the owner of the lounge wants to. He doesn't want to scare the existing clientele that he currently has, so it's got to be, we call him a little bit of a dive bar, and he doesn't want to lose that, and so they feel that the plate glass, which initially we decided to go with, is more contemporary and more intimidating, and they want to keep it more traditional. Yeah, okay, good. As far as the actual sign is concerned, the idea is to have basically a crown that projects out of the wall about 8 inches. And I know this has to go to sign committee. And then the torch cut letters here as opposed to the projecting sign. Any kind of lighting, like rope lighting, would be behind the crown. And so you create a shadow. Is that a bad thing? Well, it does. Okay, neon then. There you have it. Oh, we'll deal with yeah. And then the details.
What's the floor material, brick?
Okay, yes. Let me show you this on the next page.
And how are you getting drainage out of there over the existing sidewalk without raising?
Well, you can see in the next page. I think
Right
that's.
in, or whatever the.
I am calling as I did with. Let's put this down here. I don't know why the sheets are so big. It's very similar to what we did at Saigon across the street of the Pep Boys, where there is a. This currently is interior and it's probably very flat.
Probably.
The one thing that is critical is to make sure that the slope from the street to the finished floor, which is very slight, it's 2.5 inches approximately, carries on the 2%. Now, what we did at Saigon or Pep Boys is that we created a bit of a wedge, and when we were laying the brick, we gave it a slight slope, and it's worked pretty well because they do wash that. The ironwork, the idea is to use all 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch solid stock. And again, it's always tough to draw these things because in the end, Jose Luis does what he wants to do anyway. But he's done well in the past. I think on what these are some inserts. This is a balcony that he did at Pep Boys. And you see this little, I try to catch them, they're actually inserts that fit into the iron wall, and they're very traditional. That's, they're reproduced, they used to be made out of lead, and now of course they're iron. And so that's the idea for these, which are these. There's a ring, and did a little bit of research of getting some of the Celtic type of patterns for the rail itself. And so that's the idea. The actual corbel that we have here for the arch, it's very subtle, and I try to draw it three-dimensionally. And so here we have the arch, and it comes to this small area, and then from there it bulges out and blends right into the existing columns that we have. And then finally, the light fixture itself. Where's the light fixture? You left it out. Anyway, it's not a light fixture. well, it's supposed to be here, but it's not. Yeah, that's what it is, and there was a big detail that didn't get put in the drawing. This is really a lantern that you put in. This is curved glass. This is like a bottle that has been cut at the top and the bottom, and inside there is a recess floodlight. And there used to be a light fixture, which I remember was at the Casa de la Guerra for years and years and years, and it just vanished one day. But what these are rods with a finial underneath, and then in a little termination of it. And I'm sorry that they didn't put that detail in here. But anyway, the idea is that also when you cut the bottle, you find something that is not white, that is amber color. And so when the floodlight hits it, red, no, that's not a good sign either. Can you imagine? It would be kind of amberish color. But anyway, it's very simple. There's a plate on top, a plate at the bottom. There's 4 rods. And then it gets mounted on the ceiling, and then it conceals the downlight, basically. And that's set back approximately 4 feet from the face of the building. In this reflected ceiling plan, you see that arch and you see the brackets here. As far as the brick is concerned, there would be a soldier course border throughout, and currently on the sidewalk there is a basket weave. And the idea is to just simply bring that in and so on. The finials for the ironwork will be very, very similar, if not identical, to what was done across the street, which is all hammered iron. And I think that's basically it.
Thank you. Is there any public comment regarding this item? Seeing none, are there any questions from the commission? No more questions, then we'll... Oh.
Window breakups, is it going to be black or gray, or what?
The window breakups, I found this color, but you know what I would really love to use is a hunter green, which is far deeper.
Yes.
It's green, but it's far deeper.
Yeah.
And this in my office, because I have very little light, it looks darker than it is, but it would be a hunter green.
Okay.
And then the base of the wall here would be then this color, and this is the body of the building, and the ceiling as well. And then the door would be hunter green as well.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Madam Chair,
Comments?
Comments, I'm sorry.
quick question.
Yes.
Any chance of getting them to spring for the appropriate doors, whether they use the plate glass or the mullions?
I'm sorry?
Any chance of getting the owner to spring for the appropriate doors, whether he decides on the mullions or not?
Well, they're custom made, and so they're not standard. So yes, I think your suggestion of raising the panel. I agree. I agree, definitely. And I think the idea, and he agrees, is that divided lights, the mullions, would be the thinner type as opposed to the contemporary ones.
Thank you. Any further comments?
Yeah, I have a couple comments. I always do. A couple of traditional pots we need in there.
Will they survive with the smoke?
Yeah,
Feel
they'll do
sorry
fine.
for them.
There's something, and something I want you to study is the small Italian cypress called tiny towers.
Which
Tiny towers does really well in pots. But just an idea of a couple of pots just to soften it since you're going to be pushing the facade back.
I think terracotta, pots terracotta.
Yeah, pots, maybe there's a color, whatever, but that should be studied and a part of that patio setup, as long as you're pushing things back.
Thank you.
One quick comment. You've got these 4 inches on the center,
3 inches on center.
3 inches on the center. And obviously for a balcony, they have to be, here they can be anything.
Yeah.
And I think this is a little awkward. You may want to spread these out so it's a little simpler, a little less expensive, and maybe terminate in a more logical place than running into this juncture.
Okay.
Just a thought. Because you can have any spacing you want.
Yeah. Generally, the way this, probably Jose Luis will agree with you that that's a little odd. He changes things and usually makes one module for me to approve. And then, but I'll mention that to him.
But it might be a little too busy, given the tile and everything else going on there.
Henry, can I ask, when you say Jose Luis changes things from the drawings,
Yeah.
do we get to see them when they get changed?
Only when they come back like this. When I say changes, sometimes what we architects draw is impossible. And Don just brought up a good point. Probably what Jose Luis would say is, look, it's better that you put it at the end, and he'll do it that way. I gotta tell you, I have probably a greater concern than you ever will about how things turn out on some of these buildings, and generally, in most cases, he's done the right decision. Now, I'll be happy to bring back the physical sample for me because he has to do it that way. It's just. He probably would laugh at that and say, come on, Henry, this is not the way we forge iron. I don't know.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
this is ready for preliminary approval
Yes.
with a final on consent,
Yes.
I would imagine.
I'll second that.
Yeah, just one comment, just to consider. I did a lot of drinking in Ireland, and I noticed one thing, that they love the color red, the deep red, and not orange. That would be, those are fighting words, but red for doors and windows is very, very traditionally Irish. Just thinking.
Actually, I see what you're saying. Well, what if we kept the windows the hunter green and the doors the Irish red?
Yeah, I don't know. It's something to discuss in consent, maybe. Because I do think that this is a traditional. It is a traditional Irish color. Like they use black and they use red. Yeah.
Sure. I'll second the motion.
All those in favor of preliminary with final and consent in 2 weeks?
Or 4 weeks?
Aye.
What would the applicant?
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
With the comment that we prefer the traditional breakups and that the doors also be modified so that the bottom line lines up with the bottom line of the windows.
And there'll be a couple of hot
Oh, yes, and some.
included on the patio.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? That motion carries.
Thank you.